How's it going with those envelopes, love?
Drying up a bit. Oh, that's better.
You know those envelopes are already sticky. You don't need to lick them, love.
It's really good.
It's still got the wrapper on.
I know.
Anyway, this is the last day of my dark and moody print sale, where you can get your own signed Gavin Hardcastle. There's a link in the description below. So let's get on with today's landscape photography vlog, where we discover a dinosaur egg.
We decided to leave the mountains and head east into the desert.
Well, we've made it to the Drumheller Hoodoos. Look at this business. So if you've ever been to Goblin Valley down in Utah, you'll probably find this quite laughable, this tiny little amount of hoodoos that we've got, which are kind of similar to the ones that you see down in Goblin Valley in Utah. But what you've got to remember is this is less than 3 hours from the Canadian Rockies. So a place that has majestic snow-covered mountains and deep forests, 3 hours away from this kind of desert landscape. Now this spot is quite tricky to photograph because this particular area where you've got the more impressive hoodoos it's the protected area. You're not allowed to touch this or walk on it. Now you are allowed to kind of walk a little bit into the hills and find some other hoodoos which apparently are less protected. Anyway, let's go on the hunt for some hoodoos, shall we?
Do you think we're going to see a dinosaur?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think we'll see some raptors. Now, it's vitally important when you're hiking through the deserts of Alberta that you wear appropriate footwear because it's rattlesnake infested.
Is it?
Yes.
No.
And I'm not joking. Well, I wouldn't say infested, but there are rattlesnakes here in Alberta, yeah. In Canada. Canada has rattlesnakes.
Well, I know they were in Penticton, but not here.
Yeah, so watch out.
There's more than just rattlesnakes that you've got to watch out for in the Canadian desert.
You've got to keep your eyes peeled for dinosaur eggs, because if you can get one that's just before hatching, it's actually worth a lot of money. Oh, that looks like one over there. So that is definitely a dinosaur egg there, embedded in this wall. And once the erosion has completely eroded that edifice, the egg will fall and hatch. It'll probably be a pterodactyl or a raptor, or maybe a Triceratops. I do like Triceratops. Yeah. What's your favourite dinosaur?
Not the mean ones. I like the carnivores. No, I like the herbivores.
The herbivores, like a Diplodocus.
What ones are those? Are they cute?
They're massive, long necks.
Oh, I like those.
They're like the giraffe of the dinosaurs.
I'd love to just ride down its neck, just as a slide, and just go right off its tail and...
Like they do in cartoons.
Exactly.
Yes.
That one's having triplets.
Well, you know why it's just triplet, right?
No.
It's Triceratops egg. There's 3 parts to it.
What a spot you've taken me.
I really spoil you. They're worth a lot of money, but you can't touch them because it's, you know, they're like a national treasure.
How long before you think it'll hatch?
Oh, 4 or 5 million years, so we should be all right.
I absolutely love hunting for compositions, but when you can include a dinosaur egg hunt, well, that's fun times for everybody.
So we've climbed up to this little viewpoint and I've just spotted a hoodoo that I've never actually seen before. So we'll work our way down through there, dodge the giant tarantulas and the rattlesnakes, and we should be all right.
I know, I'm a bit of a bugger, but I just can't resist.
So I just found this really interesting little window. It's kind of like an arch. So I'm going to try and use that as some kind of... You know, I thought you were a raptor. I'm going to try and use that as some kind of frame. I don't know if I'll look that way or go on the other side looking this way, but it's quite a cool little feature. Let's go and check that out.
Well, as interesting as it was, I didn't really think it was going to work for the type of shot that I was... What is she doing? I worry sometimes.
Well, it's a cool little feature that, but I just don't know if it's big enough to make it work.
I thought you were a pro at making things look bigger.
It's a bit inappropriate, that.
No, you always make things look larger than they are.
It's getting worse.
The cap rocks of the Hoodoos contain almost 40% calcite cement, which protects the softer underlying base from erosion caused by water, wind and frost. And they are dangerously slippery when wet.
Well, I've actually found a wealth of potential compositions, somewhat spoiled in fact. So much to work with, but without any light, with just this flat, dull, overcast light, it just doesn't work. It's not even worth getting the camera out. I mean, this kind of light's perfect for waterfalls or forest scenes, but for this, you really need something happening. I've shot this before in different kinds of light over the past, and definitely you need contrast, because if you look at all of these surfaces, the colours and the shapes are very soft and muted. So to make those pop, you need some relief, you need that contrast, and for that you need light. But I think the chances have dropped to about 0.5%. I reckon that's the likelihood. I think so, love.
Well, this landscape photography adventure was beginning to look hopeless until...
If you look on the horizon over there, hopefully you can just see that gap. It's actually getting bigger. It's getting higher and it's getting wider, which means there's now a bigger chance that the sun might just creep into that space at sunset. And if it does, this is the ideal scenario, this blanket of sky from horizon to horizon with the sun peeking underneath it, lighting it up. It could all illuminate, and it's got that vibe, it's got that feeling to it that something might happen. It might happen. I feel it in my bones. I feel like this could light up. Like, there's definitely more texture than there was earlier. That's always a good sign that something interesting might occur. So I think I might just have to get me gear, love, and just get back up there.
When you feel it in your bones, it's time to grab that camera bag and go. I decided to just play it safe and revisit that main cluster of hoodoos.
And I found my composition, and it's right here. Right there on the floor. No tripod required, just blanket on the ground, straight on this boardwalk. Well, in order to capture this shot, I'm crouched like a chubby Buddha, which wouldn't be too bad if I had any kind of flexibility. But as you know, I've got knees of cheese, so it's a struggle. It's quite uncomfortable. But let me just show you this composition that I've framed up, and I'll show you how I'm shooting it. It's kind of tricky in this position, but I think the clouds are going to light up. Let me show you this business. Seeing as I can't get a tripod in this tricky spot, I've basically just rested the camera on this piece of steel, so it's close to level. I'll have to just live with it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a shot at f11, so you can see I've chosen f11 on my aperture ring there, and what I'm doing is I'm focusing on this pinnacle first, and then I'm taking that shot. But because this is a medium format camera, and because I'm only 7 feet from this rock, I'm going to also focus on that, take that shot, and then I'm going to do another one on this rock here in the left, focus on that and take that shot. And hopefully that combination of different focus points will, oh, the light's just kicking off now. Hopefully that will get me all of the depth of field that I need and keep everything sharp from front to back. And if I can get some color in those clouds, this could be an absolutely tremendous shot. So I will remain crouched here in terrible agony and I'll just wait for something to happen. How are you doing, love?
Still looking for dinosaurs.
Have you found any?
No. I'm beginning to think they don't live here anymore.
Oh no, they do. Is that a raptor?
Where?
Yeah, I'm gonna get this shot.
With my composition all set up and the light improving by the second, all that was left to do really was just wait.
What are you doing?
I'm just messaging with my mom.
Like, you've put on a couple of pounds since I've last seen you there, Gareth.
Did you say something to her, like, when she was down? She seems kind of awkward.
You're leaving tomorrow, aren't you? No, I don't know what you're talking about. So you remember when I said there was a 0.5% chance? Well, I'm glad to say that my math was terribly off, and now the light is happening. So I've got that relief that I was talking about. I've got that contrast, and now all I need is for these clouds to light up. But I've got so much more than I expected, because look at these beautiful poplars in the distance. I think there might be poplars, I might have that wrong. If you know what they are, let me know. But those are catching that lovely side light along with these pinnacles. I just need something to happen in this cloud, and the cloud's still there. It's a blanket of grey, but as the sun pops down, it's got maybe 15-20 minutes before it pops down. After that, maybe another 5 or 10 minutes before it starts to change colour, and that's when you should see some absolute pyrotechnics there. But even if this is the best that we get, I'm quite happy with this.
The stage was set, the light was aglow, and it was time to get my first shot.
So the sun is about to pop down over the horizon. Just over there, you can just see that, hopefully. And then when it does, that's always my hope, what's left of that thick blanket of cloud that I was so confident would stick around earlier has almost evaporated. Well, it's still there a little bit. It's kind of thin. You can just see like a thin grey stripe. If it holds, when that drops down, it should ignite. And my favorite kind of light is after the sun has gone down, and this is a bit softer but still with a nice bit of contrast and relief, but you've got that color in the sky which then reflects off of all of these hoodoos. So that is the hope, fingers crossed. Right, so I've found my ultimate composition, and it's, surprise surprise, it's a pano on the Fuji GFX 100S, and I can't get enough of this super wide aspect ratio for panoramas. So let me just get the other camera on the back of this and I'll show you exactly what I've framed up. I think you're going to love this. And if this light kicks off, so as you can see, there is still a little bit of that cloud left that I was hoping would stick around. In fact, it's really starting to get something going on. So that's the sun setting over there. You can see that warm orange glow. I'm hoping that there's a bit more of a pink red tone to it, and that lights up too. And then all of this will get that bounce light. I think it's gonna happen, love.
Hoodoos.
Hoodoo?
Hoodoo.
Hoodoo.
Who do you think you are?
Right, this is the kind of ridiculous nonsense that vloggers have to, well, landscape photography vloggers have to do to film the back of the A camera with the B camera. So I've got this rigged up, and this is my composition. So as you can see here, you've got these hoodoos arranged in such a way that I've created a bit of depth by putting this one. Can you see that one there, love? That hoodoo? By putting that one right in the foreground and filling, I would say, almost 40% of the frame. But what I'm doing is I'm focus stacking. So when I focus on that, hopefully you saw that there, there's all of this detail and texture in this rock. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to take that shot. Yeah, I've got the correct exposure there, so let's just get rid of all that. So I'm going to take that shot now that I've focused on that hoodoo. And then what I'm going to do is focus on one in the center of the frame a little bit further in and take that shot. And as you can see, the sky is starting to get like a purpley pink, which is exactly what I wanted. Then I'm going to focus on this far hoodoo, take that shot. And then once that's done, I'm going to focus on the distant mountains by clicking over here and take that shot. So now I've got focus from 2 feet from the lens right through to as far as the eye can see, and that sky is just absolutely fantastic. So the challenge here though is that with this composition, because I wanted to get as many hoodoos in as possible and I wanted to create depth by placing this one in the foreground, I've got that car park in the background, so I am going to have to Photoshop out some cars and those portaloos, because nobody wants to look at a portaloo in a shot like this, do they? No. So I'm just going to stick around and see if this light gets even more intense. I have a feeling that it's not going to get that much more intense because it's somewhat diffused by the clouds over in the setting sun in the west. But if this is as good as it gets, I'm very happy with this. And you know what's good about this? We don't have to come back in the morning.
We can go to the other place.
We can go to the other place. So yeah, so tomorrow we'll go to Horseshoe Canyon Park.
So you mean we still have to get up early though?
Yeah, you knew what you signed up for, so I'm quite delighted with this, and if this shot turns out to be any good, here's the shot.
Well, against all odds, this had turned out to be an absolutely brilliant day, and with the setting of the sun, the local wildlife began their song.
Every time I've come here, sunset or sunrise, you hear that. It's the coyotes. Oh wow, look at this business. I think I've got one more shot to get. Consider that a success.
It was pretty.
Went from no chance whatsoever to wow. You don't get that very often. So I'm quite delighted with that. And I'm happy that we don't have to come back here again tomorrow. We can go somewhere new.
Yeah.
But now it's time to get back to the campground and have some dinner and some vino. Yeah.
What are we having? Cheese.
Let's just have cheese and biscuits and wine. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow, which for you will be next week. All right, bye-bye.